Friday evening, y'all. How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? So, people that's joining in the Chaos Culture Radio, please make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you hit the notification button that's on the bottom right here on your right hand corner. Because, like I said, we go live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Not only that, people, we also have daily videos that we post up during the week as well to, for your enjoyment and also to, hit that like button, also to comment on our videos as well. We got that for you guys. We really, really do. Like I said, Ronnie, he's not here this week. He's on vacation right now, just chilling, relaxing, and he will be back, next week. It's getting it in like we always do in Chaos Culture Radio. So what's up? What's up, Hakeem, man? How you feeling, man? How you doing?
Chilling, my brother. What about you? Just swag surfing, still here, relaxing.
I feel good. Put in a little workout earlier today, and
Hmm.
also my new Chaos Culture Radio shirt came in this today, so
Well, yeah.
I'm happy about that. And I'm gonna get some more next month. I'm gonna get a couple more too, so that people
Hmm.
can see what colors we got for colors we got in Chaos Culture Radio T-shirts. We're not playing
Yeah.
with y'all. We're
We
not
not.
playing. We're not. We're not. We're not. But what's so chitter chat a little bit. Now we're gonna get to the topic, y'all. We definitely gonna get in the topic. If this should be an interesting topic tonight. I know the chat's gonna maybe really chat it up today about, and it's
Hmm.
really about accountability. Who's worth setting? Is it a man or is it a woman? And there's always a better about men don't do this. For women when they don't do this, they'll take company with their kids. Sherry Bryan, welcome.
How
Hey,
you
welcome,
doing,
welcome.
Sherry Bryan?
Yes,
Queen,
Queen,
beautiful
Queen.
queen.
We appreciate you coming. You come on a daily basis, and we appreciate you so much. Start to be like our true friend of Chaos Culture Radio, so we appreciate you. So
Hmm.
yeah, but yeah, we're gonna go back. We're gonna talk about accountability, like who does it worse, men or women. Uh, I think this is important to somebody to discuss. It's always sometimes in this topic, and the topic we're gonna talk about is always pointing fingers, and really can men or women really take accountability of themselves when they're wrong,
Hmm.
instead of you just using that blame card, say no, I just blame this person because he didn't do this right or he didn't do that right.
Yep.
And instead it's like really think about having a self-awareness. Think about yourself. So okay, what did I do wrong? What accountability issues that I probably have that I do wrong? Why I keep why is this like if there's a pattern where I keep doing this and this and that of every relationship I've been through? Or it's really just like, hey, just look at the trend of patterns. Like I said, every relationship I'm doing this, it's always something that I'm blaming this guy, and really not looking, or this woman, and really not looking at yourself and say, wait a minute, let me do our self-reflect, self-awareness. Okay, what am I doing wrong? And really, you could really talk about your ex about it. Say, hey, what was the good things, and also the things that I probably need to take accountability of. And I think a lot of relationship when it's broken or divorces, whatever, they really don't put that closer down and say, hey, what did I did wrong? Did I personally they take accountability of? Because once you do that self reflection and everything, you are building yourself to that a better person, a better woman, or a better man. So we definitely gonna jump in tonight. We got a couple videos we're gonna show you. After that, we're gonna go right in. Go ahead, Akeem.
Definitely.
Women do not know how to take accountability of the things that they do. This is why a lot of relationships is not working out between women. You don't know how to own up when you're wrong. You don't know how to apologize. You don't know how to listen. I mean, how do you believe a relationship can be successful with you if you don't even know how to corroborate and you don't know how to take accountability? How do you think you're going to get anywhere? It's nothing wrong with saying, I messed up or I did this, I'm my bad. How can I make it up to you? It's nothing wrong with just letting your partner know that you did something wrong, but you are aware of it and you can fix it. That is not hard. But when it comes to a man, he has to fix his mistakes. He has to come perfect every time. And if he doesn't, what do y'all do? Y'all go find y'all somebody else. You expect so much out of a man, but you feel like as a woman, you can get away with a lot. if you just cry about it, or if you play the victim, or if you just stay mad at him and don't do what he asks, you can get away with it. Stop playing these games with men. Learn to be a woman and learn to own up to your mistakes and take accountability of your actions. And know that sometimes you are the one that messes up, but you are able to fix it. If you messed up, fix it. Let your partner know you messed up. But don't mess up and not take accountability of it and don't speak on it. And then try to be in another relationship and then speak about how all your relationships have failed because of a man, when in reality it's you.
That's how you feel. One thing you want to be careful of is men that don't take accountability. When you express how you feel about their behavior, they don't even give it a second thought to just get defensive. Like in my last post, you saw there was a dude that blamed women for how men think. If a woman wears a certain article of clothing, then men can't control their thoughts. That could lead down so many roads. These are the same type of guys that will tell you, you don't do what I want soon enough, so I had to go find somebody else. Or, I can't help what I want. I mean, that's just who I am. Maybe you should step your game up as a woman. Problem is never gonna be him. Be careful.
Manipulators do not hold themselves accountable. They got every excuse in the book, always making it about it's this, it's that, it's this person, trying to hide from any consequences, trying to hide from any work that they're gonna have to do to make anything better. So when you notice that this man never takes accountability, this is a huge red flag.
All right, people. So here's a couple videos we want to show you. You know, we didn't pick any videos to go over, you know, on the women's side or men's side. We look at both sides. You know, we don't, like I said, we look at both men and women, you know, accountability, you know, like I said, we're fair in this channel. So we guys want to let you know. So go ahead, Akeem, you know, what you feeling about this topic, man? If you have, and if you had to choose, well, if you had to choose, who's worse at it, men or women? Go ahead.
You see, it's hard to say. It's hard to say that because I man, it's hard to answer that question. I could say that men tend to not accept accountability at times. Women too, but I think sometimes when a woman goes through something, she's willing to take it and keep it moving. Certain men just say, "Oh, it is what it is," and just won't acknowledge it. You know what I mean? So that's how I see it from those perspectives. But you know what I mean? In my lifetime, what I've seen as far as accountability, I see that I think the biggest issue is people don't want to be self-aware of it. You know what I mean? Like, and be like, you know what I'm saying? You see, Sherry Bryan said people are stubborn. And a lot of it has to do with upbringing. Go ahead, my brother.
For me, I'm gonna answer the question. I think it could be an even playing field. I'm just gonna say right there, it could be an even playing field because this growing up, I just see, you know, a lot of men not really taking accountability of what they're supposed to do, you know, being a father or, you know, being in a household, or when it comes to work or when it comes to school, you know, just seeing all the type of stuff. You know, being out in the world and just really look in my eyes and then see, you know, not just the men's side, but the women's side, not take accountability as certain things. It's like, oh, okay. You know, because I feel like I was raised as, like I said, a man, you know, never takes accountability. He always wrong at this, and he can never develop and really have self-aware. And then, like I said, being out in the world, see women, you know, they sometimes, you know, they don't take some accountability as well. And, you know, the thing is, it's like, going back what I said, you know, earlier, what you say is self-awareness, you know. Really just look at yourself. Just pause, like I said, at the moment, just pause, take a 5-second pause, take a 10 seconds, 15, 20-second pause, and really reflect on, say, hey, man, you know, make sure if I'm doing this right, am I doing this wrong? Am I taking, you know, why do I keep, you know, taking all this, you know, keep saying the same thing and it's not working for myself, or not working in a relationship, or not working in a marriage. And sometimes, you know, there's sometimes you might need, you know, to talk to somebody about it, you know, an elder or a friend or a best friend who, you know, not just who has an even playing field, just look at, you know, your side and the other person's side, man or woman, just look at the other person and like, hey, was I wrong on this, or was I right on this? And then, you know, and some people really can't take constructive criticism. They really can't take it. And the thing is like we take a constructive criticism. It's more of, looking at your wrongs and making it right instead of, looking at your wrongs and say, hey, everybody does this, so if everybody does it, I'm going to do it as well. And that's not quite the case and all that type of stuff. And sometimes you really tell how people really take accountability at a workplace. They're like employees that you work with. You can see if a person is not doing the job right, job wrong. Is he gonna blame? Really look separate. Is he gonna blame himself? Say, hey, I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm not doing this right. Won't happen again. Or you just blame, somebody else, or you blame your boss, or you blame somebody in general. Say, hey, it wasn't my fault. It was somebody else who did this, or that type of stuff, and really not taking care constructive accountability. Once you do that and really do self-awareness and really take accountability for yourself, it just opens a lot of things for you of what you can do, not just relationship in the outside world or in your work or in your work career, in your career working and all that type of stuff. Into a relationship, you can really talk about, say, hey, something that you was wrong or something you have to struggle with accountability. You can really say, apologize to the person, like, hey, you're right. I really just do some self-reflection for myself, and I just see that, okay, I see the patterns that you're talking about, and maybe I need to get that fixed. Either you need to, take, courses or get some mentorship, or talk to an elder, talk to a friend, and then really just like say, try how to fix it or read a book. Also in the workforce, and say it like that. Once you take, accountability in certain things, your bosses and coworkers will trust you a little bit more, because you're not lying to them or taking blaming somebody else. And that right there, that kind of builds a stronger bond in your workplace, and then going back to a relationship. So I really, like I said, to that question, I think it's an even playing field, and people really just need to really do that self-reflection and really just see what they're not taking accountability of, and just really fix something.
I agree with you 100%. But Sherry Bryant has pointed out something which is very important. Society holds Black men accountable for everything. And, even in our own community, we're held accountable for our actions and the reason why the conditions of our families are in this position. And we take that responsibility. But to point out something that hasn't been pointed out, she said, nowadays I see a lot of women not taking accountability for anything. They just playing victim. If we was to say it, it sound like women bashing. If we was to say it. But here's the issue where we have as a community. We don't foster communication enough to sit down and talk with our partners to say, hey, what you're doing is no good. What you're doing is no good. And even to the point where, a lot of us say, hey, you men don't hold other men accountable. We do hold other men accountable. It's just not in the public eye. We don't believe in public humiliation, disrespecting anybody, outing anybody, spilling the tea. And we don't believe that even for our women. If we have a problem with our girl, you rarely ever hear of a man putting his business out there. If a woman is mad and she feels spiteful enough, she's going to put the business out there to try to correct the behavior of a man through one simple thing: discreditation and public humiliation. Look at Mariah Mills and Zaya Williamson. You feel me?
I just put out a short that she just tattoo Zion's name on her face.
The tattoo Zion you see on her face. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Exactly. Here's the thing. She knew he was a basketball player. She knew that he was flying it out. The worst thing you can do to a man who's making money, and listen here, let's get something straight. He was financially taking care of her. Financially, let's not get it straight. She said he wired upwards to 50, 60,000. Her bills were being paid. But that wasn't enough. So she goes and humiliates him to discredit him, make the whole world talk. Do you think whose fault is it now? Is it his or is it yours? Listen, he didn't disrespect her. He didn't go out there. Yes, he cheated on her. But there's an expectation you have to come. There's certain expectations when dealing with people. You're dealing with a ball player. So there's an expectation to know that this guy is going to be very sexually promiscuous. It's been a history ever since Dr. J, who he had been rumored to sleep with 100 women. Shout outs to Just Hear Me Out. Go ahead, my brother.
And I was going to add to this. Usually a man, usually a woman who really doesn't take accountability for her actions in a relationship, it's usually the time. It's usually when a woman doesn't really expect a man like that.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. If a woman doesn't respect you, she's not going to take any accountability whatsoever. Because especially if you go in a relationship wrong, if you're not going in with no respect, you just going in with your wallet. You go in there with your wallet and your wallet, and you pay for fancy dinners, buy her clothes, get her makeup done, that type of stuff. And sometimes men just doing that, not realizing like there's a man who does this, and they think they're doing this. Like, okay, I'm doing this. She gonna respect me. No, some situations like that, it don't work like that. If a woman feel like if she can use you, you can pay for everything. She gonna be like, hey, I'm just using this man, and anything that I do wrong, I'm not gonna take accountability of that because you're paying me. And he's gonna point it right back to that man. You're not doing what you're supposed to do.
Funny enough, you say that. Some women know their position, which they never had problems. Some women have been long-term side pieces, understand their situation. There are kids out here who are by certain men that women respect the fact that they knew what they got into. They're not going to ruin the person home. Understanding their position and where they messed up at. Now, take it from this. Some billionaires have been going through this, but the women that they didn't have never outed them. They understand their position. Bill Gates is one of them. He had a long-time girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Gates was one of them. If it wasn't for and mind you, I think that was a purpose PR stunt for them to put that out. When even Jeff Bezos, his wife never publicly disrespected him or outed him or went on Facebook and stuff like that. Now, men trying to build a bear that never going to work. Sherry Bryant, you are so 100% right. It's the same go for men with women. Don't try to build up a nigga if he doesn't have it. Now we're going to flip this on the other side. Accountability with men, 100% goes to a man's choices when it comes to his sexual urges. We are very detrimental when it comes to that. Knowing we're not mentally ready, financially stable to have kids, we will go ahead and sleep with women without condoms and won't give a F about it. Because we feel the responsibility is left to a woman. Am I wrong, my brother?
You're not wrong. You're not.
After all the examples that we got, after all the single mothers that we have, and men have been repeatedly been exposed to these behaviors, and history has taught us, we still do not practice restraint. We still do not care if a woman gets pregnant, if she decides to go ahead and have had the baby. And I'm just saying this so we can be fair as far as understanding where we lack accountability as men. A lot of us have friends who are horrible fathers. We still hang with them. We don't never chastise them. We don't out them and say that, hey, fam, until you go take care of your kid, you can come back around here. Oh, she put me on child support. F her and the kids. Okay, until you go back and straighten that out, you can come back around here. We don't do those things. And I can honestly admit to these things and say that, hey, we know a bunch of gentlemen who, due to their actions, damage the black neighborhood just as well as the woman with her actions as far as picking the wrong mate. Understanding that you met a dude, you know he ain't shit. You knew he was sleeping with mad hoes, and you went along with it, and you decided, hey, I'm just gonna have a baby because he looks good enough, or he has enough money, even though he's not giving you the money. I'm just gonna do it. Go ahead, brother.
And then also with a man, is this one problem that you're addressing is like I said, and I don't know why some men do this because that should not be in your vocabulary. It's when men when they play victim.
Yep.
When they know they're not doing right and they play a victim role of not taking that accountability, that right there to me, that's a big red flag to me. If I'm a woman, if you're like I said, especially these ladies, if you see a man who plays victim a lot and really don't take the responsibility that he needs to, that's the wrong type of man you should be dealing with. And the wrong type of man you chose to if you having a baby by it as well, because if you chose that man to be with and then have a baby by the man, he's not going to change.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes women realize, and after the thing is, the women they don't realize it, before they get pregnant or before, they give birth. They realize it, after, they give birth, and then they really see, and when they see that, women's like, okay, I'm not okay. Hopefully he'll stand up and be a man, or I know he's gonna step up and be a man, but he's not taking his responsibilities as a man to do what he needs to do. And I want the women just to realize, before you have a baby by that man, or even have sex with that man, make sure, he, like that victim role, if something that he like that, he don't take accountability of and play that victim role, that should, like I said, that should be a red flag for women, and to say, oh no, I can't do that, because if I want a man, if he does wrong, because like I said, nobody's perfect, he's going to take responsibilities of, try to fix it or try to make it right. I believe, a man, if, like I said, just especially a man, he just really looking at that self-reflection of trying to, really build on what you need to build on. I know, like I said, it might take time, especially, men are in their 20s, because we can be super, super, super naive sometimes. And, and it takes sometimes, like, for growing up, and also, having, fathers or uncles in your life to really address that, or, talk to somebody, say, hey, I think I'm doing this right. No, I think I'm doing this wrong. Just talk with about it and see, what's options you can address that situation. Because, men who play victim, to me, that's a red flag of him not taking accountability whatsoever.
And brother, you hit it 100%. We need to have we need to foster what taking ownership to a situation in how you was involved in it. We need to foster that type of culture now. Now, Sherry Bryan says something: men would sleep with multiple women and copy and paste the same lines to each other. It's a fact. Here's the sad thing about the reality of it. Most boys and most men and women at a younger age become followers. And at that age, we're so impressionable, we're foster toxic behaviors and we're trauma bond as if we don't come from dysfunctional homes. So your homeboy can tell you, hey, you're not going to be a real man until you smashing all these hoes. He's going to tell you that. Or your homegirl will tell you, he too ugly for you to be with him. Go holler at Day Day. He got D's on his truck, knowing he's a grown-ass man. Or here's another statement. Girl, you stupid to be with that nigga if he ain't cutting no check. Oh, here's my favorite one. You bet not come in this house with a wet pee in a dry purse. What accountability looks like to you? I'm asking people out there. What does accountability means to you? We talk about this. The red pill guy raves about this, and they blame women solely and say women are 100% the reason why dating is like that, and we cannot do that. That is impossible. We know that it's a hand-in-hand situation. You know what I mean? It's just like with economics. It's levels to this, but we need to try to understand that we need to foster this type of conversation. Go ahead, my brother.
That's true. And I could say, in my marriage, there's sometimes like when I'm consistently doing something,
Mm.
and sometimes my wife catches me before I do. And there might be some times that, there's sometimes we like, wait a minute, I don't stop myself and really look at self reflection and really taking accountability. Because there's sometimes I might, she might say to me, it don't process quickly, but I might think about it. It might stay with me, marinate, and I might think about it another later that day, and I really will bring it up. So for me, I struggle with that. For me, sometimes, like I said, when I look at something, sometimes if I'm not doing something that's kind of affecting the marriage anyway. I'm not saying I play victim, but I just like, don't really think about it at that time. And for me, it's like, okay, I really, if I'm not seeing it, if my partner is seeing it, that means that something's wrong. Because like I said, my wife, she like I said, we in the house almost every day, 18 hours and 19 hours, well, not that, I'm sorry, 12 or 13 hours a day, because like I said, I work and we work on that type of stuff. And like I said, there's a little bit struggle for me. But like I said, me, I just gotta say, hey, stop what I'm doing. It's just really processing while I'm listening and talking to her, and then just and really to find a solution. Because like I said, in our marriage, we trying to find a solution the best ways we possible. We don't sweep it under the rug. Because if you sweep stuff under the rug in a marriage or a long-term relationship, it's gonna get messy or it's gonna get smelly later on in the future. So I advise, people who's in a relationship and marriage, if a partner is telling you something that he or she sees, and you maybe kind of dismisses in a way, really take that time to really self reflect and to see what you do wrong. Because sometimes you might listen, it might go straight over your head, and the person got to repeat once or twice, or we really have to stop and really process it, and then talk about it later that day.
100%, man. But you want to know something, Jordan? You got to give yourself a little bit credit. You was adult enough to realize that and understand what she was telling you and address it and then go about your business. A lot of us do not do that, men or women. Stuff can be talked to us. We'll see it and pass it over it. Nowadays, relationships have the worst communications ever on both parties.
Facts.
And without communications, how you have accountability? And without accountability, how are you able to fix any holes within anything you going? If it's emotional, relationship, financial, whatever. I think that, our culture is so big on very just giving up and moving along, depending on if the situation is workable. We're going to evade that and say, hey, this ain't working no more. I'm going to go jump back on the app and see if I can go get another nigga who's going to respect my mind.
I got a question for you. Do you feel like in our community, when we try to, have a conversation and try to bring out, constructive criticism, do we look at, constructive criticism as a bad way? I say, hey, you're criticizing me in a bad way, but because constructive criticism means you're trying to, looking at the problem and try to solve the problem and try to make it better. Instead of, I feel like, there's sometimes in a relationship in our community when we try to give constructive criticism, they think like we're bashing men or women, that we think like they're bashing. How you feel about that?
I agree with you 100%. Any constructive criticism look like you're hating. You trying me. You don't believe in me. You're hating. And that's the problem is we as men and women in the community, we do not know how to take constructive criticism. We don't know how to take people expressing their feelings and saying that, hey, bro, the shit you did the other day didn't look right. And then you're looking at them, damn, dog, why you hating? Or, if a person's telling you like, hey, what you doing is not conducive to what we're trying to set up here. That person will be like, yo, if you got a problem, just walk out the door. So we do not know how to take, we can't even, I don't even know nobody who can even foster. I haven't even met anybody who can even foster that ideology of, taking constructive criticism. It's hard, especially when you got people who think they know everything. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the worst factor of that is in the people in their 20s.
Oh,
Because people in their 20s, they think they're invincible. They need to ignore everything. They, you know, they travel, in certain countries in a 5-year span, it's traveled to 4 or 5 countries. And oh, I know this about this country, and they just feel like certain knowledges they get from certain countries. That they feel like they might be better than that person, and they be wise from that person, which is not the case. The older you get, and the more information you get, more experience you have. Especially people who in they mid 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, like I say, people in that age, they've been through some things that you probably never experienced, or maybe experienced over time, and they know that, possibility that it won't work. It will not work. And I really think, like say, people that are in their 20s really, really listen to people that's older than you who've been through that experience. Because I feel like, what they're trying to do is to try to give you the criticism, constructive criticism, say, hey, I did this in the past, many times or very few times, and it hasn't worked for me. But once I, really did a self-reflection and try something else, it worked. And I feel like some people, the young ages, they might listen and go out one year, go out the other year. So right there, like I said, constructive criticism, especially people in their 20s, they feel like they feel like they're being bashed. They feel like they know everything. They feel like they don't hear it. And to me, it shouldn't be like that. If somebody old enough talking to you, have that experience, listen, because if you get that knowledge early, you could change that quickly. Shout out to Gore, baby. How you feeling, Gore? Good to have you.
Gore, you keep the lights on. You keep the lights on. Shout out to you, my brother. We love you. And Jordan, I want to comment and say that you're right. Millennials and a lot of people who are under 30, and we're not saying people who are over 30 don't listen, but you tend to see a trend of a lot of these kids under 30, under 25, under 15. You can't tell them nothing. Being an older person doesn't mean anything right now. Having experience doesn't mean anything unless the person is willing to listen. They've been groomed in a certain kind of family that has fostered them to understand what it means like to take accountability, what it means like to understand constructive criticism, and what is taught. Even for me, sometimes I have to learn how to talk at times to my nephew and stuff like that, so my message can come off in a way it's digestible. Because, young men, as they get older, since we were young, we understand a lot of testosterone make you feel like, I'm just going to take over. You know what I mean? I'm going to take over. Yeah. And he says, keep it going. Back on the West Coast, time for a work trip. Let's get it. So we look at it from that point. And this is the thing that you mentioned something earlier too, Jordan. I want to say that this is why guidance is important. This is why uncles, brothers, granddaddies, cousins, sports coaches, we need to be more hands-on. If we're not, we're losing the battle. And I know you might feel like it's not your responsibility, but if you're a part of this community, you have a very much invested interest on trying to save these young men. These young men, if we're not trying to invest in them and teach them what accountability looks like, we're only building more of a fragmented society. Sherry Bryan says, I was my man's friend 2 years before us dating. He was open about his multiple partners because he said he was just playing their games. He wanted me from day one, but I didn't even take him serious. I held him accountable for his actions. This is what we're talking about. It's just that simple. And here's the thing. Him telling you that and you understanding that you didn't do what most people would have done. Somebody like him, he probably who has money, has the means. Most women would say, hey, I can sway his opinion with sex or with a baby. I'm not saying that's what all women does, but you're trying to understand how you're going to capture somebody who's the ideal mate from a paper standpoint, but not from a personality standpoint. Because a man who has multiple partners has a personality flaw. If you need multiple partners to feel fulfilled with yourself, this is not the conversation for you. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean, we practice one situation here. And if you and your partner are not good, just move on and go with another one. Seville and Muhammad said, our people at any age have arrested development. That's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to add, we was talking about, what you said about, talking to your cousins, your friends, uncles and all that type of stuff. That just tells you, like I said, how, having a family is such important,
Yes.
in a man's or woman's life, because once you have that family, or like I said, you start a family, but having kids and all that type of stuff, it's important, to me, one of the most important things is like to teach your child is have accountability for your actions. I feel like, some parents, they don't do that. They just do the basic things about, just taking care of the child, cooking, cleaning, taking them to school, and et cetera, et cetera. But really try to really, put the development into that child, especially with accountability. So when they go out in the world or going out, having jobs, and and then if somebody telling you they're doing wrong, and really take that self-reflection, like, hey, maybe he's right, maybe I'm not doing this right. And instead it's like, oh no, he's just criticizing me and bashing me. And and really, to me, having accountability, start from the home, especially for the parents to teach them, kids, how to take accountability. Because once you learn how to take accountability, that's going to push you well in life, from a relationship, and also having to find a good career.
No, 100%. I also want to, it says, we are overage juveniles who are selfish. Facts. Muhammad also says, until we meet with or get back to with God.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, he said something that I should have said in the beginning, but this is another reason why we lack accountability. We do not involve God in a lot of things we do. Spirituality is one of the biggest thing. We say we're the most spiritual people on the planet in America, but our actions tells that we lack spirituality. Because if we did, a lot of our actions wouldn't be here. Some of the most heinous things I've seen happen has been with my own people. And I pray for them and wonder why that person didn't seek any help. And this is why we as a people have to be a little bit more hands-on. And you know what I mean? And I wanted to mention something that I remember when the red pill thing started to come out, they said we need to bring back shame and guilt and all this other thing. That doesn't work for 2023. It did work back then. Accountability should be the number one thing. And accountability should be the top thing to try to address the issues within our community. Another thing I want to say is too, we should not do what our forefathers have done too. When a woman make a mistake, we cast her out to the world. No, we're not going to do that. Because we need to bring her in, shower her with love, hold her accountable, and set steps to accountability. So far as the men as well. We're so easy to cast out a lot of them out without correcting the issues. Because no matter what happens, these people got the same color skin as you. They represent you when you go out there. And their actions will go back and reflect you, even if you ain't had nothing to do with it. And I say this too, it's just like the laws of 360. What comes around goes back around. So intervening, even if you feel like it has nothing to do with you, and make it your point. Oh, Muhammad with another one, microwave relationship. Pop it in and pop it out. when he mentioned that also goes into the point of if a person even valued a relationship long enough to work on it and put accountability on the table. You feel what I'm trying to say? And to be honest with you, if the relationship is microwave and it stopped and it has no own doing to you, just say God did you a favor. Because if a person willing to give up, not take accountability, not take responsibility, and not willing to work on a situation, that means God has a bigger plan for you and is setting you up to be with a mate that is going to understand what you need to be in a very healthy relationship. Go ahead, my brother. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I was going to add on. Like I said, the last show we did, we talked about medium household families, that make the most money, and we basically talked about the number one, ethnicity who does that is Indians Americans.
Yep.
All the stuff that we talk about, accountability and doing right. The Indians Americans, that's what they're doing.
Yep.
They set it straight, especially in their families. How well really accountability, how take accountability, how to learn and process take accountabilities and boundaries, all that type of stuff. And other races as well, some in the Asian community, the Chinese, the Philippines, certain races, they teach this, to their kids or to their family, cousins, aunties, uncles, nieces, and nephews. They do that. And I feel like, in our community, we definitely really push that, really, especially, like I said, Hakeem, number one is taking accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Once you take accountability, like I said, you could, especially in your relationship, you can see your relationship or marriage could be a little bit more fruitful. And by doing that, and also teaching that with your kids, you can see a better upbringing for yourself and also for your kids as well. I want to add
on that. My brother hits with another. Rejection can be protection. All praise is due to the Most High. I didn't understand that until I got older. God will set a tone for you, which you might not understand as you looking at as being cast out. He's actually protecting you from harm. You know what I mean? And then as you mess up and you're in a particular situation, you understand that you can live and relive from that. Listen, we all make mistakes. Life is about making mistakes. And we learn from our mistakes and keep going. But being self-aware and taking accountability is the best thing to do. Once you do that, you understand that that's healthy. Now, that's healthy in accountability and boundaries. Sherry Bryant, my therapist talked about healthy boundaries. And boundaries in what you stated earlier with you and your guy friend, you had set a healthy boundary with them and let them know what you wanted, which was very respectful, and you respected yourself at the end of the day. Now, mind you, nobody can judge you. Nobody can look at you any kind of way, because you have a lot of other people who say, okay, you shouldn't even talk to the nigga anyway. Leave him alone. But who are we to judge? Who are we to say what situation is better for who? We all make mistakes. We are all flawed. But the thing about it is, you setting the tone on how you want to be treated, on how you establish the relationship, or where we go on from here, is the importance. And you know what I mean? And understanding and meeting people where they at. Go ahead, my brother.
I was going to ask you, do you feel like what Sherry Bryant said about accountability and boundaries, do you think that goes hand in hand?
100%, my brother. I think it's needed. We don't understand boundaries, men or women, because you want to know something? It don't make no goddamn sense for me to just meet you and say, hey, let's go back to the crib. That you're overstepping boundaries. I don't know you to say, hey, let's go back to my crib. Hey, who you live with? You stay by yourself? Let me come over. This is another boundary that I think is disrespectful. Where you work at? Are you going to be able to take care of me? Are you going to be able to pay for my bills? any way you look at it is disrespectful. You're overstepping boundaries. So how a person's supposed to look at you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, speak of the. I was about to say, look who just came in at the perfect timing.
Our beloved, listen, our beloved, DC's finest, Northwest,
yep,
Southeast,
the DC queen. That's what you like to say.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Listen, go-go music. Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, listen, I might play some go-go music in a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially for her, especially. But yeah, I agree with you, Hakeem. You know, I think accountabilities and boundaries go hand in hand, because if, like I said, once you take self accountability, and also, let's say in a relationship or a marriage, there's somebody that you keep repeating of and not taking accountability, and then the other spouse says start making that boundary, and you're overstepping that boundary. That could end a relationship or a marriage if you do it, time and time again, because because you're not really looking at taking the necessary accountability of yourself and really trying to fix it, and then you go overboard that boundary, and then now they should have ended because of that.
The funny thing is, there's something we don't talk about. Maybe you can answer this. Let me ask you this: do you think there's boundaries even within marriage?
You see what your mom said? He said, if I can't do that, pay for my bills, he said, how am I supposed to get to know you, who you are?
So Sugar Bum, you say that's the question, but listen, how offensive do you think that is? And let's say if you ask to pay my bills and the man go right back and say, okay, I don't mind paying that bills, are you going to drop that neck? It's a fair exchange. You cross a boundary, I cross a boundary.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? So, Jordan, let me ask you a question. Do you think there's boundaries in marriages?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, you might see more it depends. I say certain marriages, you might see less boundaries because you're taking accountability for your mistakes or her mistakes, or if something that's it's not working well in a marriage, you might see sometimes that man or woman might build more boundaries so you won't overstep or what you're doing and everything, because there are some times in the marriages, it's like, like I said, people get older, people want different things, and, people think different. And really also discovering, people might discover that their trauma, that it might trigger them, that they probably haven't, they probably figure out, in their 30s and 40s, and they really say, hey, I think I'm building a new boundary on that. And sometimes, when you're in a long-term marriage or in a relationship, when a person builds a new boundary that you see come unexpected, but you overstep that boundary, that can kind of end very well, because you're not respecting that person's boundaries or what they're trying to do. Because like I said, as people, we grow every day, and we figure out, we might do a little bit more self-reflection once we get older and older and older, and like I said, and then for me, it's like, especially for me, it's like we get older, it's like I said, there might be some more self-reflecting than I do towards, like, during the day when I'm at work or in a relationship, or I'll go out and work out, I'm not doing this properly, this anything. And I just want to say, when a person's making more boundaries in their marriages, because they figure out something that, a certain trauma that, they're trying to fix, put that boundary. You got to respect that, because that person is growing, and he or she is that person is growing, and they realize, okay, how to fix this? I'm gonna set this boundary so this trauma or something else, it won't affect me anymore. So yeah, Hakeem, I definitely say marriages and boundaries, like I say, it could be new, but you still gotta respect people's boundaries. Either how long you've been in marriages, is very important to respect that boundary.
No, 100%. Um, I respect me. I told him come at me correct when you're ready, and let all the foolishness go. I just respect that he shared that he even as friends since 2021 nobody showed me otherwise. His past is his past. That's 100%. That's also taking accountability, being honest with what the situation is. You know what I'm saying? And come on, ladies, don't be tacky. LOL. What this is what you use pay scale for. It, um, Sugar Bum say, well, technically, sucking D is a sin. I don't want to go down younger.
Shoot, she come with it, y'all. I gotta think.
Yeah, but we have to look at it from that point, man, and just be very like we have to look at it and understand what it is, what accountability is, and understand that the reason why we're in the situation we don't take accountability, and we have foolish expectations, very foolish expectations. You can have realistic expectations and being able to voice those and stuff like that, and to be like, I don't think you know what I mean, dictating what a man pay and what is he done without understanding the quality of a man is important. And for what Sherry shared, a man willing to be honest about his escapades, that means he's taking accountability, and that's somebody you're supposed to trust. Because if he's telling it how it is off back, then that means he's not going to lie to you. That's better than a man who pays bills and goes home every night but doesn't let people know that he cheats.
That's cool. You know, Sherry Brown hit it with the honesty, especially with men. If like, and I tell them that, man, this if you want something in a relationship, just be honest. You know, don't try to hold it in, or don't try to hurt that thing. You're gonna hurt that person's feelings, because a woman, I think definitely respect is a man's honesty.
100%.
Doesn't matter how it might hurt their feelings, or you might get them mad. If they do get mad or get sad about it, like they'll get over it, because their feelings might be hurt, but they gonna process it and think about it, and it was like, oh yeah, but at least he was honest. You know, he didn't lie to me about it. He didn't, go under the table about it. He was honest about that, what he said about it, and I'm gonna take it to the chin, and and you get more respect to that. And man, you get more respect when we be honest to your woman. I'm just gonna say that.
Beyond respect. And I think women in general are going to respect you with your intentions are being displayed from the get-go. And this is the problem with men. This is a very big issue. We're going to lie. A lot of us have been taught to lie to get to the goal. Not understanding that there's women who would accept what's going on if there's honest, and be able to give the person a right to want to deal with that or not. And you know what I mean? And that is a selfish thing. Muhammad said that earlier. We're juveniles who are selfish. You around your man and you say it out loud, I need my nails and stuff done. It's not asking if he offers to pay. But listen here, we're not dumb. The fact that you say it, we already understand that you insinuating for us to say, hey, what's the bill for your nail tech?
I was going to ask, it's a difference when you demand something and then ask for help or something. I think when a woman demands something, it's like demand something for a man. It kind of feel like feel like your man feels like you being aggressive with him, instead of maybe be a feminine way and say, hey babe, I'm gonna need help with this bill, or I'm gonna need help with this, my nails. Can you hook me up, get my hair done? Because my wife, like I said, there's sometimes my wife, when she need help with something, say, hey babe, I probably need a little bit extra money to get my hair done, or I don't have the money to get my hair done. Hey, I give you $100 or $50 to get that done on nails. Like, okay, I'll slip that. And once you be asking me that, I don't say no. I don't. I rarely say no.
And let me comment and say that you are 100% right, Jordan. And let me tell you something. If the relationship is healthy and she's doing what she needs to make me happy, anything she asks, I'm gonna do it. And if I got it, I'm gonna say, hey, you got a couple dollars on you? Here, take this money. Oh, I heard you supposed to go here. Here, come and take this. You know what I'm saying? Men don't mind giving. We're going to give when the situation is healthy and beneficial. But when you feel like it's owed to you, okay, you're gonna get that old response. Okay, you feel like I have to give you my number, then you have to give me some neck.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this, Hakeem. Like I'm gonna say this, and like I said, my wife does it so well, and she does what she's supposed to do. That I give her gifts once or twice a month.
That's beautiful
because she does what she needs to do. And when it comes to like her birthday or Christmas, I like stuff like this. It's like, okay, it's like how do I keep figuring out like what to give her her birthday and on her Christmas? And it's usually something that it's not really materialistic. It's something that she needs. She might have something she felt that's kind of sentimental to her. It could be, and sometimes it's not really that expensive. Sometimes if she needs something and I'm really looking that she needs something, or she'll tell me to get something for her birthday, and I'll get it. And to me, it's like like I said, when a woman's really doing her job, and you're in a long-term relationship, long-term marriage, if a man sees that a woman does his job, he don't mind spending some money or a gift or two for his woman or his wife, because she been doing it so long that she earns it to me, and she gives you that respect that you needed. And that's like for me in my relationship. I don't mind doing what I would. Like I said, if she asks for something, need help with something, hey, go ahead. If I need to go over my savings sometimes, go ahead, I'll do it.
Look what Gore said. He just regurgitated to you what it is. On a serious, most men would do anything for a good woman.
That is facts.
Cut the check. Co-sign cars. Your mama got issues, we moving her in. Your mama got issues, we moving her in. Listen, they might do like my brother. Leave 2 houses to go be with his woman. Sell 2 houses to go be with his woman. Travel 20,000 miles away.
Yep.
Sherry Bryan says, right. If a man telling you up front, you respect that. That shows right that he respects you and the intention that you are different. Muhammad says 3 times dope had a funky singing in 1988 about dating a chick and sleeping with her right away. Then he gets angry because she asked for money. Now Muhammad talking grown man talk.
Yeah, now Muhammad, he's serious. He's serious.
You talking grown man talk. Now mind you, I'm gonna say something. A lot of niggas might not like what I'm about to say. If you sleeping with somebody, you got to be cutting the check.
Hey, that's the same thing with prostitution. It's a transaction.
It's a transaction. But if a woman's willingly giving your body, and she calls you at 2 a.m., hey, Dante, the tire in my car break down. Baby, I'll be there in 10 minutes. This is why most men mess up their situation. They feel like they're owed something and they have nothing to give in return. Now, this is something I can agree with Sugar Bum on. Hold on, before I get it, he says, but we're not taught that a man is supposed to provide for a woman and a woman is supposed to act in a ladylike way so a man wants to pay. Both needs to be taught. Assalamu alaikum. He just dropped it. Sugar Bum, you heard what the man said. But we're not taught that a man is supposed to provide and a woman's supposed to act in a lady-like way. Gore said this. We just regurgitating it. A man will have no problem paying bills. It's how you open your mouth. It's how you act. He will not have no issue. He will not even blink an eye. Oh, you need that? Swipe. Your son got summer camp? Okay, no problem. We'll put some cliques on him. You got this and this going? We'll do this.
And the number one thing is, like I said, if you show accountability, like it says on the title on the show, your bills getting paid, your clothes, you're getting new clothes, you're getting the Sabbath Fenty, you're getting your nails done, you're getting your hair done.
Yeah,
like men don't mind. You have a good woman, they shoot. You represented me. You represent me very well. So if you're doing the stuff I need you to do, hey, I'm gonna spend the money because you represent me well, and you do what you're supposed to do. Period.
And listen here, yo, I put up a video the other day, and some dude said you a simp. I'm a grown ass man. I'm not gonna be raising no woman. I said, this is why you look ugly and single. Listen, men over here pay bills and they are providers. Regardless of whatever religion you in, Christianity, Islam, peace be upon him, the Prophet Muhammad, the fundamental thing they teach you as a man, you got to provide. And a woman have to come and bring her femininity to the table. Your degree, your money is a plus, not a requirement. This been set for us way before we was even born. If men got a problem with it, if women got a problem, they got to take that up with God. My man bought me a 90,000 vehicle before we made a year dating. He knew he had a great woman, but it was his choice, not mine. Giving his love language, he had purchased for my birthday. Reason why he gave you a 90,000 woman, because you are a woman. You are a feminine woman who represented herself and lead off with femininity. It wasn't no coincidence a nigga cut a check like that. He was supposed to, and he did it because he understand. He said, okay, she's respecting the game.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I just tell you that, like I said, once I get that money, I ain't there yet. I'm in LA. It's expensive, but my wife's favorite car is a red Corvette. Well, she said that, okay. Like I said, once I get that money ready, you gonna get it. Am I surprising you on your birthday? Am I surprising you on Christmas? Or I just might surprise you on an ordinary day? Say, hey, I got you something. Come walk outside.
Facts. But sometimes we as men are not taught how to treat a woman or when we learn in a locker room or in the streets. Let's talk about it. I said that earlier. Mm-hmm. Listen, most young guys learn negative things from older men. If the man is not a stand-up guy, and this is why it's important, ladies, to make sure whatever if it's your brother, your uncle, if he ain't a stand-up dude, you got to keep him away from him. You got to keep him away from him. You got to keep him away from him. No, but it's true, Sherry. Listen, women who get gifts and get taken care of know what they're doing because they're leading off by being a woman. It's not hard. It's not hard. City girls get AIDS and they get their ass whooped and they get cheated on. Real women get taken care of, houses and rings. Understand your position. Be a spiritual woman. Know what your place is. Go ahead, my man.
Hey, I agree with that. I agree with that. Hey, Sherry Brown, we love you too. You know, we
love you, girl.
Hey, we just saying what needs to be said. We just come with our point of view and what works. Because when we do content, you know, we just go by what our experiences are and what we see that's not, you know, that other channels are not teaching, the right things, especially in the red pill, because it's always blaming women. We as us, we make sure and say, hey, this is what how it works, and this is what you're supposed to do. And this is for everyday people, from rich to poor. We talk about this because we know it's the right thing to do.
100%.
Period.
We believe on practicing the right type of masculinity. We believe
Facts.
in promoting the right type of patriarchy, not the controlling patriarchy, not the one where your woman doesn't speak, not the one where your woman can't have her word, not the one where your woman is not considered a partner. Like you say, it's not hard to be a submissive woman at all, and it's not hard to be a provider. It's not hard to be a leader. It's not hard to be a man in a relationship. But there's key components that you need. God, a tribe of people to hold you accountable, and a strong black woman be by your side. That's my final take.
And my final take, going back to the accountability, we really, especially in our community, we really, really need to learn and really take accountability for ourselves in order, to be a better person and to be the best version of ourselves. And I believe, we can do that. We can definitely do that. And then once we do that, like I said, we could do greater things and do great things, for ourselves and also for other people. That's my final take. We're going to shoot the shout outs before we go. Shout out to Sherry Bryan, shout out to Sugar Bomb, shout out to Gore, shout out to Muhammad. Anybody else?
Let me know. I'll go on Instagram.
Okay.
Shout outs to Mr. Steve 305, Urban Noise. Funny enough, Urban Noise is on Instagram and not on
okay.
YouTube. Shout outs to Dr. No Job Team. Shout outs to Luca. Shout outs to the Boss ENT, Samuela 2020. And everybody who didn't get a chance to watch it, you can watch us on the restream. We support, and thank you so much for supporting us.
Absolutely. And also you, just me, shout out to you, man, for watching us, man. We appreciate you. But like I said, we over our mark, y'all, and we want to thank you guys for watching us again and again. Ronnie, he's on vacation. He'll be back with us next week. And like I said, and he's gonna be chill, relaxed, and he's gonna be energy. And like energy next week because he's like I said, because Ronnie's been working, not just on YouTube, but it's his own job in general. Yeah. So like I said, we're happy that Ronnie's taking his time out, that he has certain needs, that he'll come back. He's gonna come back, with a vengeance, baby. But thank you guys for watching the show. Also, make sure you guys, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. And also hit that share button too. Make sure you share this because if you like what we're talking about, make sure you share it, to another YouTuber, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. We appreciate it. And also make sure you hit that notification bell on the bottom because we do go live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 6:00 p.m. Not just that, we have daily videos that we have during the week for you guys. Mm-hmm. Oh, I want to add this too. We're not just on YouTube and Facebook, all the other stuff. You can catch us, on Apple, Pandora, Spotify. We everything you could think of, we were there. You could hit Google. All you see number Chaos Coast Radio things.
That's it.
Everything. So we're out there, guys. We're out there. Also, guys, if you're on YouTube, if you're on the community tab, make sure you get Hakeem's book, Black Love. Because he care about the community, he want to help us out in the community and to teach you guys about, Black love, how deal in certain relationship. Also, not just that, we got a Chaos Coast Radio's T-shirt, and I just got mine in. We got the red one right here, and then like I said, I'm gonna buy more I'm gonna get more T-shirts because we having it black, we having it red, we have it blue, we have it gray, white. We have so many colors. So I'm gonna make sure you guys, like I said, I'm gonna show different varieties of colors that we have of Chaos Coast Radio. Like I said, thank you guys. We really appreciate you, to the subscribers, to the watchers, people who like our stuff, share our stuff. We really, really appreciate it so much. But as for Chaos Culture Radio,
we out. Peace.
Peace.